Hello and welcome to Drive In Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan,
I'm Ryan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about two movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before we get into this Tuesday's episode, I want to talk to you about our Patreon. If you are looking for full movie rips, and I'm talking about brand new cinema straight out of the theater recorded in there, don't come to our Patreon. We don't have any of that, okay? Just letting you know, we do not
Well,
have full movies on the Patreon.
I mean, if you put all the episodes together, it could equal a movie.
It could. It would be an incredible movie, by the way. But no officially released Hollywood movies are on the Patreon, but we do have a lot of bonus content for you to go through. And like Ryan said, if you put it all together, you got like a long movie. That's a pretty good sized movie. Some of those episodes go on for a while. You're getting a lot for $5 over there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Showa, eat your heart out.
By getting into this Tuesday's episode, we are doing a Roger Corman week. Roger Corman passed away very recently as of recording this. He is known as the king of the cult, just like made so many movies, produced so many movies, and they're all mostly all B pictures, but he was loved by everyone. Everyone loved Roger Corman, right? Even Paul Schrader.
Everyone,
Uh,
everyone did.
but yeah, we all if the name's not quite familiar to you and you've listened to the show, um, he's the guy we always joke about where he's like where we're like, oh yeah, throw in more breasts, more nudity. Can you pad this one out? That he was the king of that. And I think we should celebrate that.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying we should celebrate it because he was a one-man force. He's so like iconic that that just saying those phrases, I'm like, yeah, that's a Corman picture. I it just works.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the main thing, idea is just I guess, an incredible scout for talent. I mean,
Hmm.
that's the movie that we're doing today, at least, where it's just like takes an incredible newcomer and give them their first start. And I mean, it's crazy to think how many big name Hollywood directors started with Roger Corman before they became that.
Yeah, exactly. Big Hollywood directors, some not good, kind of like the one we're talking about today. But no, I'm just kidding. No, a lot of directors got their start with Roger Corman, and today is actually one of Francis Ford Coppola's first movies. His first movie that wasn't an erotic movie, which is a funny way where his career started. But
Well, I got to correct you first off. It's not Francis Ford Coppola. It's just Francis Coppola in the opening credits.
really, why
He
did he
didn't
add
earn.
his middle name? When did he do this?
I don't know. He didn't earn the Ford yet.
Yeah, he was just Frankie Coppola. That's what I was
Yeah.
expecting. Maybe he wasn't as proud of this movie, even though looking at the behind the scenes, it sounded like he fought with Corman for a lot of this movie. Because you know what Corman wanted? He wanted more nudity and he wanted it longer, which is very much true to his whole
Yeah.
producing deal.
I wouldn't expect any other way from him.
No, but Francis Ford Coppola is kind of famously known as like a tough director to work with, and I'm sure he gave him a good fight to keep his original vision. And it's funny looking at this movie, because sometimes you can see glimmers in movies of like, oh, this is the director they're gonna become. No, you don't get that here. This is a pretty much a B picture.
No,
Uh,
I mean, I when I saw it, I was like, future Oscar winner.
Oh yeah, this guy he's gonna win some Oscars. Um, I
Gonna go
forget,
direct one of the greatest American made movies
yeah,
ever.
and make a sequel to it, and then make like the greatest war movie of all time, and
Yeah,
the
the Cotton
and
Club.
yeah, and Jack. So
Yeah,
talk
Cotton
about
Club and Jack. That's his two most popular ones.
yeah, that's the thing. Like he would go on to direct some great stuff. Something called The Godfather. Mm, I don't know.
I don't know. Sounds like a fairy tale movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like the Godmother, but it's like a
Yeah,
male play on it.
yeah, something like that.
Okay, I guess that's interesting. Maybe we'll have to check it out on the show sometime. But Dementia 13 is a black and white horror movie from 1963. It was actually a double feature with X, the Man with X-Ray Eyes, which has been on my to do on this show list for a while. So maybe this is a reason to do it. Really short movie, about 75 minutes long, and it's very much like Psycho, I would say. It gives me the same vibe, came out just a little bit after, kind of gives me the same feeling. So it's all set in a castle, which is funny because both of our movies this week have that
I,
distinction.
there's one thing Roger Corman loves, it's castles.
He loves a good castle. You must be able to film in a castle cheap for whatever reason. I
I
know
wonder
in
if he's
the
a big fan of the show Castle.
he probably was. I don't know. Maybe he had his hand in the show Castle. How long was that show on for?
A long time.
Yeah, wild. But this is just like Psycho. It's kind of an interesting movie. We follow a main character who we think is the main character, but ends up not being the main character, just to spoil the movie for everybody. But we open with dark, foggy waters, a man and a woman on a boat, but it's not a lovely night. They're bickering with each other, and it's all about a will. So the husband's mother, I guess, is not giving them enough on the will, and she won't be able to get any of the money if she kills her husband. So right off the bat, we get the setup. It's like, hey, this guy can't die or else she won't get any money. And you know what he happens? He has a heart attack in the same scene, and he gets his body dumped in the water. Um, it's
Did
an
they say
interesting setup.
did they
Oh, what's up?
say why they were bickering in the first, like why they were bickering about the will in the first place?
Nah, not really. Because I mean, later on, there's like that conversation they have where with the husband's brother, and he's like, "Oh, I saw you give dirty looks whenever his, mother read the will." Um, but
So
that's about it.
they decided to go take a boat ride and argue while doing
Yeah, you're right. What a weird setup,
it.
actually. Let's go argue on the boat. I don't want to
Yeah,
argue in the castle.
yeah. Whatever you do, I am not going to take this argument on land. We have to go out the
Yeah,
water to do that.
oh, and I have a heart condition, and I didn't bring any pills with me, just to let you know. So if I get a heart attack out here, it's over.
And we're miles away from anyone could hear me or help us.
Yeah. So wow, what that just bad decisions all around. I almost expect that she would have killed him anyway out there. Um, but I
I mean,
guess
yeah.
exactly, yeah. And he dies of a heart attack, and she dumps his body into the water, and she's going to masquerade around that he's still alive, has left, and she's going to work her way into the will by getting in the good graces of the mother of the castle.
I do like the opening credits sequence where it was just kind of like the
Mm,
silhouette of the dead body in the water, and it
yeah.
was and with the
Oh, and it
credits going by.
transitioned.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, I really like that too. I thought that was pretty inspired because like it actually hinted at something that happened later on in the movie in the opening credits, and I got like a flashback to it. Yeah, that I actually really like the silhouette scene a lot. Um, I guess getting into the movie, I mean, there it's hard to explain like how little there is to kind of talk about this movie. Like there's stuff here, but it is very like bare bones in a way. Because it is a lot of like just setup scenes and then it's over. Because like
well,
what is
okay,
the
so
main woman? Oh, go ahead.
I mean the main mystery is that they keep talking about this girl. God, what's her name? Kathleen.
Yeah, Kathleen. Yeah.
So there's that they, which is implying that it was a daughter or like a sister to them, and they never, like, they keep talking about her in a very mysterious way, like she's
Mhm.
almost around still but she's not, and but
Yeah,
it's
we
just
we
a,
learn that she's dead pretty early on.
yeah, but I mean it's a very eccentric family, I guess is like the
Mhm.
word. So I mean it's like there's the older brother who has a wife or has a fiance, and then there's another brother, I guess like the little brother or whatever, that's
Mhm.
by himself. But I really don't know how to talk about this movie without diving right into the mystery aspect of it.
No,
Because
yeah, because that's important, right? This movie.
so
Oh, go ahead.
major spoilers, I want to say beforehand.
Yeah, because this movie does get like right into it because you think the movie setup is okay, she's going to work her way into the will and she's going to the way she's going to do it is she's going to make the mother go crazy, right? That's what I got out of it. She's going because they have a funeral for the daughter or for Kathleen every year. And every year she passes out. So the mother passes out and while she's like kind of in a daze, Louise whispers to her like, oh hey, I seen Kathleen, I hear her voices in the hallways, and it's kind of implanting all of these memories into her to make her kind of go crazy, maybe make her closer to get into the will. um and she plans on it's really elaborate, putting dolls from her bedroom, which is an interesting scene, right? Because it reminds me of Sid's room from Toy Story
Yeah,
because
these
it
are
has
very
like
weird looking dolls.
yeah, exactly. And they're like crawling, it's interesting, but she's gonna hide them in the water. What was the plan there? Like, I guess eventually they would like land on top of the water.
Well, I because I knew that she drowned, right?
Hmm.
Or did they?
Oh,
Did
I
they?
yes, I think they knew she drowned because I think they knew that she died in the water.
Right. So I think that was kind of like the plan was just to be like, oh, like she's talking to her from the grave because
Hmm.
there is the scene where she passes out. There are little like ghost moments because she drops a flower onto like the headstone and then the flower immediately wilts.
Yes, yeah.
And and so there is like something at play that freaks out the mom. So she's trying to make the mother go crazy. And like you said, that way Louise can get on the will, but she takes the little dolls and she throws them in the water and she goes swimming with them like to the bottom of the
Yeah.
lake for some reason.
Yeah, that's how she does it. She swims to the bottom of the lake. It's actually a really long sequence. I kind of liked it because she gets caught by the oldest brother, and then it cuts to her like walking in this foggy outdoors. It definitely has like a mood to it, and she's in the water, and she gets killed in the water. She gets found out, and she gets murdered in there. And it is an early 60s movie, and it's a little brutal for an early 60s movie. There's blood and you see her dead body. You see her kind of writhe while being drowned.
Well, and the other thing too is that one thing that spooks her is when she gets to the bottom of the lake, she does see a
Oh yeah.
completely uh, preserved body underwater. So it's like it
Yes.
looks like, which is it's implied that it's Kathleen's body, but but obviously it's in perfect condition for being under the water for years.
Yeah, and that becomes like the another mystery of the movie because that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was wondering if the movie was just was just bad and they weren't going to explain why it was perfectly preserved but it is explained why it's perfectly like a perfect looking body.
But is the movie bad?
It's okay. I didn't hate it. I think it's fine. I think for a movie with such an interesting setup, I was a little bored while watching it. There's parts I don't love.
I was I don't hate it, but I didn't like it either.
Yeah.
It's the mystery portion of this movie is like I don't even know if they're trying to even make it a mystery because it's so obvious
Oh yeah,
of what it
exactly.
is. And I mean, because like one character has flashbacks of what happens to her, like to the daughter, and then but like that's clearly showing which person's having the flashback, and then like I thought maybe because it was the younger brother that was having these flashbacks, and I mean, spoiler, it's the little brother is a
Hmm.
killer, and so what I thought was gonna maybe happen is that uh, they were gonna maybe do like a complete swerve and have it be like the other brother, and maybe like the younger brother maybe witnessed the murder. So, which that's what I was kind of expecting. I'm just like, oh no, they went for the most obvious one.
Yeah, I thought the same thing because I thought, okay, well, it's obvious it's the little brother, but maybe it's not because they do try to set up that the older brother and her and his wife are kind of up to something. They're kind of up to no good in a way. And I was like, okay, maybe that's leading into something. No, not really. Actually, what I
No.
find really interesting about this movie is our main character in quotations dies, and then we kind of lose a main narrative drive. We lose who we're going to follow, and it becomes more of an ensemble movie. But we get a brand new character named Dr. Caleb, played by Patrick McGee, who we'll talk about again, who is from Clockwork Orange. He's the guy in the wheelchair in that movie, which I think is a funny connection. But he kind of becomes the main character because he's like the family doctor, and he becomes a snoop, and he's like, okay, where is she gone? What's going on here? And then he tries to drain the pond, and he finds like the fake grave in there. And he's just like, okay, weird stuff is happening here, and I have to figure this out.
Yeah, it's a very slow moving
Yeah.
mystery. I mean, like even for this movie being 70 minutes, I still felt the length of it a little bit.
Yeah. Kind of a Corman trademark at sometimes it feels like.
Yeah. Um, oh yeah, Teenage Caveman.
Exactly.
That movie was like barely over an hour, and it felt like it was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, but no, like I guess I was kind of hoping for more. I mean, I do like a lot of the aesthetics of the
Oh
movie. Like
yeah.
I do like the gothic setting. I mean, even though it doesn't make any sense why this family is living in a castle, but still, it's I do like the look of it. I do like a lot of the mood lighting of the scenes, like especially like when she's under the water and
Yeah.
some of the more darker scenes. But I don't know. Like they spend a lot of time with the older brother and his fiance, and she's kind of like wondering what's going on, and she starts asking her fiance a question. He's like, "Look, if you're going to be in this family, you need to learn when to shut up and stop asking questions." I mean, that's pretty much what he says.
No, yeah, and she's like, "Oh, okay."
Like, yeah,
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, and these are the most boring parts of the movie. Like dead serious. Like there's that whole bit where she's riding the horse, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't think you rode horses very much." He's like, "Oh, I just wanted to show off." Just like little bits like that. I'm like, I don't really care about these two.
yeah.
And obviously you're not supposed to because they don't really serve anything to the plot at the end of the day. Because I mean they have
No,
nothing to do with the mystery.
no. I mean, in essence, they become like the. I mean, I guess besides Dr. Caleb, they're like the other driving force of the movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Which there's not much there to work with.
yeah, exactly.
because
Um,
because the killer, the other brother, I think it was uh what was it,
it,
Billy,
is
or is
he?
Billy the other one?
I don't know because it's Billy and John, right?
Is it John? Okay,
No, no, no.
I
Well,
can't remember.
I think it is Billy. I think
Or is Billy the older one? I can't
I
remember.
don't remember.
But anyway, okay. Anyway, the killer starts terrorizing the mother, and the mother starts freaking out because the
Mhm.
killer just kind of goes after the mother and freaks her out, and she has another breakdown. And then at the end of the movie, the younger brother tries to kill the older brother's fiance.
Yes, yeah. Um, yeah, and I like it. There's things I like about it, like kind of like this feels like a early slasher in a way. He's gloved and he's going after him with gloves on. He does chop somebody's head fully off in this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We forgot about the groundskeeper who was
Yeah,
like, that's
yeah. Who's hunting for bunnies and has
yeah. It's
never
like
caught one in 30 years.
they're like, oh, what are you doing? Poaching on our property? Are you?
And then, yeah, it's like angry, and then they're like, "No, it's okay. He just hunts around. He doesn't do anything." Yeah, he gets his head cut off, and then at the end of the movie, the very final shot of this movie, I'll bring it up now, is a very quick reveal as to why this body's still preserved. It's like, oh yeah, he built a wax figure to protect. And then they chop its head with an axe, and it's like it looks like blood everywhere. It's very violent for a last shot in
Yeah.
the 60s movie.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, he was just like, oh yes, he had to create another one so he could protect this one, and
Uh-huh.
then I'm like, okay, like,
All right, got it.
hey, yeah. I mean, there, like I said, I mean, I was kind of hoping for some type of last minute, like, swerve that would make me like, oh, okay, they went with somebody else completely different or whatever. But it was, no, it's like, oh no, we told you who the killer was, and they're the killer.
Exactly. Wow, Coppola
Oh,
really showing his strength early in his career.
but there's the way that they get the doctor figures it out is, remember, he puts the younger brother under hypnosis,
That's right. Yes.
and he does the little rhyme, fishy fishy in a brook, daddy caught
Yeah.
you on a hook.
And that's how he figures it out. That's right, because he's walking and he's walking just like around, and the older brother and his fiance are kissing each other, and he's like, fishy, fishy on a hook. And then like his eyes wide, like, and he connects everything together. Because the whole thing is they think, I guess the way Dr. Caleb thinks that it happened is that the little brother saw somebody push Kathleen in the water, but just like couldn't recall that. Is that what the mystery is?
Well, no, the little brother killed
Well,
her.
well, no, I know, but that's what Dr. Caleb thinks when he's
Oh, right.
hypnotizing him. Like that, he's
Yeah.
thinking that somebody else pushed her in there.
Oh, right, right. No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Um, yeah. But otherwise, that's it for this movie. I mean, it's an hour, 10 minutes.
But
Not a lot happened.
yeah, I mean, they do like the big final ending of the movie, is when Dr. Caleb actually comes across Louise's dead body in the
Mhm.
freezer,
That's
and
right. Yeah.
puts it out in the middle, and like hoping that the hoping that, I guess, the younger brother will come out and
Hmm.
take the bait, and
Imagine being at a party and someone just brings out a dead body and lays it in front of like the bonfire.
if somebody did that, I don't think I'd believe it was a dead body.
You don't think so? Well,
Well, I mean, can you tell a dead body right away from a live one?
no, I guess you're right.
All right.
I guess I'd be a little like, who's this weirdo? Get this doctor out of here.
Who brought the dead girl?
Yeah. Oh,
Can I bring a little more lively day, doctor?
yeah. No. She had a little too much to drink.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
she she had a little bit of a cold because she came
Yeah.
out of the freezer.
Yeah. Yeah. Frostbite, Um,
But overall, though, I it was okay. It was just okay. I there was enough in there where I didn't dislike the movie altogether, but I can't say I liked it either.
yeah, that's how I feel. It was fine. Mystery setup was good. Just maybe lost itself a little bit along the way. Needed a little more to really I don't know, to be a top quality product. So I agree. Okay, not as good
And
as Jack.
needed a little more Marlon Brando.
He would have been pretty good. He would have been hamming it up.
Yeah,
I'd be up for it.
he could have been any of those parts.
Dr. Caleb, Marlon Brando.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he could do it. He'd be
Yeah.
like forgetting his lines, and
Give
I
me
thought
the cue card.
I thought the cue cards floating in the lake.
Yeah. Harrison Ford's in it for like 2 minutes, maybe. He shows up just for like a little bit.
Yeah, he's like one of the bar patrons when they're in the bar.
Yeah. And then he's out of the movie. Love it. We
Yeah.
we we should go back and get this movie remade.
Well, I
Well,
mean, they
actually, this
remet.
movie did get a remake.
Oh yeah, that's right. It did.
Yeah. We don't have to
Oh,
talk about that one.
did that? Wait, were you gonna say any more about like the disagreements that Coppola and Corman had, or was there anything else in there?
No, I didn't really like I guess get anything too interesting out of it unless you read something.
Oh no, but I just, other than, like what you said, he wanted something basically, like, I guess Coppola was taking a lot too long with the process, and he was just like, come on, let's get this thing done quick. Who cares if it
Mhm.
sucks?
Yeah, I forget if I read that for this movie or the one after it, but I know Roger Corman talks about hating filming with English sets in like England because I guess they film slower according to him, and in America you can get what they shoot in like a couple days done in just one day. But yeah, no other really facts. Just he wanted it padded out, which I think would have made me not like this movie at all. Like that would have like killed it if there was like some crap that was unnecessary to the plot of the movie.
Yeah, like if this movie was just an additional 20 minutes longer.
God, yeah. And it's like a subplot that has like nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Actually, it probably would have been better than the rest of the movie, and then it would have made it worse in comparison.
Yeah, exactly. Would you give this a recommend?
No, I wouldn't recommend it.
No, I can't say I would either.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't get the Ford in there. He didn't earn it yet. So once he started making quality movies, like, now you've earned your middle
Yeah, I totally agree.
name.
How come his like grandkids and all them don't use their middle names in their like him?
Only like a few of his family members actually use the Coppola name.
That's true. Yeah, they don't want to keep that
Yeah,
like good old Nicholas,
yeah.
whatever his middle name is, Cage, Coppola.
Nicholas Chevy Cage.
Yeah, I bet. But that does wrap it up for this one. But Ryan, what are we covering on Thursday?
Well, Nathan, we're gonna keep the Gothic theme going, and we're going to go into the world of Edgar Allan Poe, one of my favorite poets, because I read poetry so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, you always quote it. I have to cut it out of
And
the show.
yeah, never more will you hear me quote it. And anyway, we're going to be talking about The Mask of the Red Death, and that one is actually free on YouTube right now.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to watch that one. And if you want to email us, you can email us at drivingdoublefeaturepodcast@gmail.com. You can also tweet at us over at Twitter at the IDF pod. And be sure to check out our Patreon. But until next time.
Until next time.